So here we are, 200 miles of estimated range. I've driven 23.6 miles. 200 miles of estimated range, about to hit 24 miles, I'll be fair. So, I should really be sitting at 210 miles right now, but instead I'm at 199. But listen, at the end of the day, to have basically a range difference of 10 miles after driving 44,000 miles on a battery-powered vehicle, that's really not that bad. You almost can't compare it to like a cell phone battery or anything like that, because if this were like a large, like a giant cell phone battery, which I know some of you would argue, yes, it is a giant cell phone battery. Hey, I get it. But the technology behind this battery pack, it is different. It truly, it's turning out the way they said it would be. I mean, my projected range is 155 right now. I have an estimated range of 195 left, and I've driven 28 miles out of the 334 miles that were promised to me. Not promised, but that were estimated for me to get. So, with all that said, it's not really going too bad. It's kind of, in a way, it's sort of making up some range. So, and I've noticed also that it seems to get better with the autopilot. When you engage the autopilot and you have that going, it just seems to, it just runs more efficiently, and the battery consumption, the projected range, everything seems to work out a lot better. So that's something to keep in mind if you are already a Tesla owner, or you plan to be one and you're concerned about this battery thing, because that's what everyone is. You know, I think that my obsession with range is widespread. I mean, I think that everyone has that same obsession and that same interest in the car. I mean, yes, there are a lot of other things to be interested in, but the range is just everything. That's almost like the fun part of the car, like just kind of following that and keeping up with it and seeing how it handles it. And, you know, like I said, 44,000 miles, man. 44, or women. It's a girl's world now, right? So, anyway, it's just something to keep in mind. I mean, to drive as much as I drive, and to supercharge as much as I've supercharged, and to be at 44,000 miles. And right now I've driven 30.1 miles, and I've got 192 estimated. So you see what's happening here? It's kind of fluctuating a little bit. There's like a 10 to, you know, well, in this case, there's, yeah, I mean, it's roughly a 10-mile difference that you're looking at, like 10 miles of wiggle room, let's put it that way. And as long as you kind of keep that in mind, and you also have to continue to look at the projected range, because with that projected range, at some point, the estimated range and the projected range will meet in the middle. They just do. The projected range starts to come up a bit, and then finally it meets up with the estimated range, and then you have a more accurate number, and you can say, okay, now I know what I'm truly dealing with. But for whatever reason, that really just doesn't happen until you get to around somewhere between 70 and 100 miles of estimated range, or remaining range in the battery. So if I had to guess, somewhere around 30% of battery life, it seems to get a little bit more accurate. And there you have it, caught it in the act. You see it's at 177 projected, 186 estimated, I've driven 36.3. So the wiggle room is definitely, I was afraid to say it before while I was talking, but it's definitely a 10 to 12 mile wiggle room. Now here's where we test a few more things out. With 178 projected, and yes, I'm on a kind of a curvy road, so I need to watch out. 185 estimated. Now let's see what the actual... bear with me, people. I'm about to go into a major curve here with the autopilot. It's a wet day. Let's go with energy. Let's see what that battery life is now. So, 73%. And they seem to be pretty close as far as the projected and the estimated. Got to get back to driving. The car's starting to swerve a little bit. It's in unfamiliar territory. Tesla, I have a small request. One little request. Among many, but this is a little one. This is a small one. Could I please, could I get energy and distance together in the instrument cluster? That would be awesome. I don't like having to switch back and forth. I want it all the time. I want to see the actual battery percentage there along with the range. This is not hard to do. I know it. After everything else you've done, you gotta be able to do this. Come on, please. I would love that. So, just for clarification, what I want is right here. Okay? I want right next to it or right above it. Give me the mileage, the estimated mileage range, okay? Thank you. I would appreciate it. This is pretty interesting. I am in Carrollton, Georgia right now, and it would actually be closer for me to go to Alabama if I wanted to find the nearest supercharger. It's pretty interesting. And here's a range update while we're at it. Things are looking good. Well, here we are again. Struggling to get to a charger. I've only driven 160 miles. Can't make it home. Really disappointed right now. How I started out with 234 miles of range, but ended up with only 160 and maybe 20 to go if I'm lucky. Very, very disappointed. So I'm over here at West Georgia College looking for, I'm sorry, West Georgia University, I guess. And I don't see an EV charger here. Charge point led me here via Waze. I don't see anything. Wait a minute, I think I see something. Not well lit, which is a bad sign, but yep, there it is. Charge point. This won't be good. So here we are at the lovely Charge Point charging station. I need at least 25% battery life to get back home, and turn the wipers off. No point in wasting that. Oh, God. Read it and weep. Oh, this is not going to work. I'm going to have to find a better place. This is not going to work at all. Still sitting. It's been a painful wait. I've been sitting here for about 30 minutes now, and looks like all I've gotten really is 10 miles of range. I mean, at this speed, I don't know. I really feel stranded. I actually considered just calling a tow truck and having them tow me home, because it just would be quicker than sitting here and waiting to charge. Just, I don't even know what to think right now. This is absolutely ridiculous. My patience has gone. I just can't sit here and wait all night long, because I have to drive an hour to get home from here. So, maybe a bad idea, but I went to PlugShare and I found this spot at the Georgia Chamber of Commerce, and I'm going to go over there. It says it's 11 miles away, 16 minutes, and it's sort of on the way home. So I'm going to go there and see if I can get a better charging speed, because I'm hearing that one pulls at 240 volts. Maybe that doesn't matter, but I think that should help a little bit. So I'm going to try that, and I'll get back to you. Okay, here's what a little bit over an hour at the charge point at West Georgia University will get you. 17 miles. It's time to go. It is time to go. I'm over it. These things happen. Really? It comes right out. Once you unlock it, no big deal. And then it'll close too on its own. Oh, I must be in the wrong spot. I'll have to figure it out. Alright, hopefully this will work. Never used one of these before. Thanks for the light. Alright. Well, it's not a whole lot faster, but probably should have come here in the first place, because 18 miles of range per hour and it's free. You know, anyway. Here I sit until I get enough juice to get home. The magic number is 48. So if I can get this thing up to 50 miles, then I can go home. It's 8:43 p.m. So I just spoke to this really nice guy over at the Holiday Inn Express, Lithia Springs, and he said that I can come in there and charge for free. While I totally appreciate the free charging over here in Waco at the Harrelson Chamber of Commerce, I believe it is, you know, it's just not good enough for me right now. I need to get home, and yeah, I mean, this is gonna be taking me on the way home, and I can, you know, once I charge up there, I wouldn't have to sit there for very long. So I'm gonna go on and risk it and get on the road, even though it's telling me Well, you know what? I'm going to be smart. I'm going to wait. I'm going to sit here and wait until I have 40 miles of estimated range. And then I will head out to Lithia Springs. This is interesting. I turned on the heat because I was really getting cold, and the heated seats or the heated seat. And this thing went up to like 17 hours plus to charge. Now I turn everything off and it's kicking up the speed again. Actually, it's still it dropped from 19 to 17, but it looks like it's about to speed up. Anyway, I'm tired of playing these games. I need to go somewhere where I can get a faster charge. So it's time to take off. I've been here long enough. Well, I'm wondering if I'm gonna make it. I know it's not right to drive with the hazards on, but people just aren't getting it. They're tailgating me like crazy. Flying past me. They're angry. Real fun dealing with range anxiety like this. Anyway, 7.9 miles to go. Projected range is 20 miles. Estimated range is 14 miles. So, if the car does exactly what it's supposed to do, then I will make it. But I gotta tell you, I'm so over this commute that I am thinking about trying to make it home. But I don't know. I'll just have to see what happens once I get to Sweetwater Creek area and figure it out from there. So I seem to get more accurate range when I have hardly any battery life. So it's saying I've got an estimated 8 miles left. I've driven 36.5 miles. So I basically made it. I'm about to make the turn into the Holiday Inn Express as soon as this light cycles back through. So here we are. Alright, Tesla destination charger seekers. Here we go. There they are. 2 Clipper Creeks, 4 Tesla. All right, let's see what kind of range this thing gives me. Going on 3 hours trying to get home. God, what a relief it is to see it go over just 19 miles. Oh yeah. Bring it. Wait. That's weird. Maybe I was looking at it wrong. Oh gosh, I was looking at the amps. Okay, well still, I'll take 30 miles of range per hour, 31, whatever. I'll take it. I shouldn't be here for much longer, and I can go home. Alright, I actually have enough range to make it home at this very moment. So I'm thinking about doing that. But I just feel like I've caused damage to the battery. I know it's kind of silly, but I just feel like it's not good for me to keep driving on a low battery like this. So I'm going to sit here now that I'm up to a decent speed. I'm going to hang out here and let it charge up just enough to where, you know, I'm going to let it get, I'm going to give it about 30 miles of range, and then I'll go home, because then I can go home with ease and I won't have to worry about it. And it seems like this thing might kick up and speed up a little bit once I get out of the car. That's something to keep in mind when you're, I noticed that once you get out of the car, it'll really speed up and charge a lot faster. So now that I'm in a place where I can actually, you know, where there's some amenities and stuff, I can hang out, I can give the car a break and get out of it. So that's what I'm gonna do. So while this car's charging, I'm gonna go on and just drop some thoughts on you, tell you how I feel at this very moment. I am definitely going to explore my options tomorrow. In my 19 years, almost 19 years of doing this type of work and running this business, the power at the airport has never gone out. That's some really fishy stuff. When the power goes out at the airport, it has this terrible ripple effect on everyone, on everything, you know? And for me, it was more of an eye-opener and a wake-up call. Like, it did not hurt me in any way, really. It cost me so far 3.5 hours and counting to get back home. But the thing that I'm really concerned about is, you know, when there's an emergency and I really need to move and I need to go, this can't be happening to me. I can't deal with this. So I can't believe I'm saying this right now, because earlier today I was talking to a friend of mine and said, you know what, there's no way I could give up the acceleration and all of the other perks that come with driving a Tesla. But after this, I'm kind of over it, really. I just, you know, this is the, you know, technically, this is the 4th time I've gone through this. You know, one time I didn't make it, but the other 3 times it was just like other people were involved, and, you know, it got to a point to where I almost didn't make it and ended up spending 2 to 3 hours extra just to make it home, because I was like hopping from one charger to another looking for a fast charging speed. So we're right here at 11 months on the nose right now. 11 months from the day that I took delivery. And I gotta tell you, you know, I love this car, but it's not cut out for my line of work at all. It's not cut out for the limousine business one bit. So, depending on what I can get from this point, you know, after all the mileage I've put on it, I think it's gonna be time for me to hang it up. All right. Didn't really take much time to get here. I mean, get to this point on the battery. This is more than sufficient, so I can go ahead and make my way home to Atlanta. This has gone on long enough. Oh yeah, I'm golden. Time to go home. throw out everything that I've said about range and, you know, battery packs and all that stuff when it comes to electric vehicles. There's something that's far more important than that. For the most part, we've been neglecting it because we're completely blinded by our obsession for range, and it's the charging speed. Really, to me, that's, after last night, that's more important than the actual range of the battery pack. I mean, if you can plug up just about anywhere and, let's say, get 50 miles, and I'm being fair by saying that, if you could just get 50 miles of range in 5 minutes, this would be a huge game changer for EVs. And right now, having to sit for an hour to get anywhere from, you know, depending on where you plug up, anywhere from 2 to 20 hours by sitting for 1 hour, that's not going to get it done. That's not going to cut it. I mean, that really irritated me last night, and it kind of broke my, it made me kind of eat everything that I've been saying about EVs. It's like I just didn't even know anything until last night. It's like I had this epiphany. I'm like, man, here I am chasing the range, wanting a larger battery pack for my car, when I can't even plug up somewhere, unless, you know, besides a supercharger or a high-powered wall connector, whatever you want to call it, a destination charger. If I don't plug up to one of those two things, then I'm sitting around waiting forever unless I have a CHAdeMO adapter, which I don't have yet. I'm gonna work on that. If I'm gonna stick with this, I will get one. But, oh crap, I just missed my exit. Oh, son of a bitch.